Today, a rainy day, I had two things on the agenda I wanted to do. Luciano and his son, who lives in Colorado, GABE, are coming over for a visit, check out the shop and see the model railroad, among other things. But I wanted to work on the concept sketches for this, get some feedback from Luciano, maybe some ideas of what we want to do. Basically, right now, we know two things for sure. We're going to paint those flat black lowers, shiny black, and we're working on making some custom gold paint for the wheels, and that making the custom gold paint is a lot more of a job than you think it would be. And we've done a lot of gold wheels for Glenn and for obviously for my bike collection. But the problem, as always, is the gold is a critical part, and especially on that, I want it to be like my 70s race bikes were, black and gold. Now, I only have a few pictures of the 70s race bikes. All 7 of them were 350 Yamahas. Ray still has one of the original ones, so I hope I can get some pictures from him. And when I did the restoration on that bike, I put it all on CDs. I got to find somebody that has a complete set of those CDs for my own reference. Now, we're about 3 months away from mixing paint, but one of the things we always want to do is get our ideas, get our plans down pat, and get feedback from as many of our friends as possible. Now, Turbo Steve sent some pictures of some modifications he made to his 250 Ninja that look really, really good. And Steve, we always appreciate sharing the pictures and sharing your thoughts on what I'm doing. Now, the theory of everything I do is I like to have a custom, one-of-a-kind motorcycle. I don't want to just replicate something that's already been done. I try to make it a one-of-a-kind. Obviously, the FZR and John Pothia worked with me extensively on that, making up the lettering, the logos, among other things, and the general design concept. But one of the things with this bike, we changed the plan many, many times along the way. But even if you do that, you have to start somewhere. You can't just start by ripping a bike apart and not having any idea where you're going. Now, because I've already got 600 or 700 miles on this bike, and we videotaped all the rides and shared them, been up in a farm country a few times, the idea of these bikes, the bike collection, is that everyone is just a little bit different. But they all share one thing in common. They're all fun to ride. So if you come up with some kind of a custom idea, and I know people that have done this, including some of the things I've done, you make a seat for a bike that's real uncomfortable, you make a set of super low clip-ons, a super loud exhaust system, or an engine that just isn't fun to ride around on, or you put a full race engine in a bike and you can't tool around town, well, it kind of takes the fun out of it. Now, some of the things that I enjoy about motorcycling, I like to go on basically 150 to 200 mile rides, or 100 to 150 mile rides. So the bike has to be kind of comfortable. And one of the things this bike is very, very comfortable. It throttles beautifully, it gets really good mileage, and you get 200 miles to a tank of gas. So any time and money that I invest in this project, it's 10 years old now, and if I do my concept sketches the way I want and get feedback from other people, I think in the end I'm going to have a really, really nice, what I call a keeper, a bike that I enjoy riding, and I'm just going to enjoy it. I don't want to make a custom bike that, for instance, an example of something that wouldn't be good to me is, and I've seen guys that have done this, they take a sport bike and they turn it into a Harley with all kind of, blingy, custom, pearly paints and metal flake. Well, yeah, I can do that if I had a Harley, but it wouldn't look like what I find attractive. Now, the good news is what I find attractive is other people find attractive. Well, some other people do, but each bike is a unique thing. It has a unique flavor. They all ride a little bit differently. And because I've planned out for probably 50 years paint jobs for model planes, I have a pretty good eye for what I think will look good. And I've had a few of my friends that have agreed that the bikes are tastefully done. And of course, a few friends that think they're not so tastefully done. But what I always do is I always start with concept sketches. I always start laying things out. I always start mixing paint before I ever take a bike apart. And because I've got 3 months basically of riding time, what's going to happen before 3 months are out? This bike will need tires, and when it does, that'll be time to do the wheels, The bottom fairings can be done anytime. And I want to come up, John Pothier has already come up with a couple ideas, some custom logo for here. Something, I don't know what it's going to look like in gold. Maybe something up here. Something on the back of the seat and maybe on the lowers. But again, it's that colored gold that's very, very hard to get right. When it's too brown, it looks, and when it's too silvery, it looks like, but in between, because I've got the polished titanium, I want to accent the polished titanium pipes, but they still stick out there quite a bit. I didn't realize that. But anyway, I think when we're done with this, we're going to have quite a cool project. And the thing we have to work around is the Ninja styling. Ninja styling everything comes to a point. So all our trim will have to come to a point, any lettering we have to do. And again, I lean on a lot of my friends for ideas, for thoughts that'll complement the looks of the bike. But then I have a secret weapon called Karen. And a lot of times, and here's just a good example, because this bike is yellow, I had originally done the concept sketches with gold wheels. And when she saw that, the first thing she said to me, the wheels should be black. Then Luciano came over and he said, the wheels should be black. And I might have even had the same feedback from other people, but it doesn't matter. Well, I decided to lean on their technology, and it looked like it worked to my advantage. Now I think, thinking back, the gold wheels with the gold discs, and it might have been overdone. Karen's got a word for that, umbagacha. When it's umbagacha, it means it's a little bit over the top. And again, there's that fine line to walk where a bike is a custom, one of a kind, and it has to have the look like maybe the factory did it, not some drug dealer in San Francisco. It's got to have a look of something Yamaha might have made. I think all of these bikes capture that. And it's got to make sense to me. Like the Kawasaki, that paint job, it looks like that would have been one afternoon of laying it out. That took me months. I went back and forth, I'll bet, with 100 concept sketches, changed the color several times, then came up with the Camaro color, and in the end, I think I got it pretty right. But the good news is, it's all in the eye of the beholder. Not one part of it is something that you have to please anybody but yourself. Now, another thing, I made these mufflers for the R1. I still have enough resin, and when I made these shells, I made 2 extra ones, and I have thought on the Ninja, it might be appropriate, if I don't run out of time, to make some kind of a custom exhaust, something a little bit different than the stock bike, maybe with a little more of a rumble to it. I don't know. Now, I've always kind of liked the look of the stock pipe, but what I've also thought of is I've also come up with an idea that maybe, and Luciano found this supply of their fake Aquapovic pipes for 40 bucks on eBay. So I don't know, that the answer would be to get one of the fake ones and just do my own carbon fiber right on top of it, not have to cut any of the tubing or anything. Anyway, the logo up here, John Pothier's always got ideas for that. And as I look at this bike now, having it, if it's going to be all black and gold, one of the things I'd like to do is make this logo gold. They may even make that. But see, when they buried this in clear, they never really buried it. So it won't matter now. I can sand this down, maybe backmask it. Again, that's a thought. A gold gas cap will look good, but the problem is you don't see it because I always ride with a radar detector. In fact, the gold gas cap that Glenn gave me worked out great. Well, again, I always think another thing might look cool. Pull that spring off and paint it gold. But again, it's very easy to overdo it. That's the problem. And that's why it's always good to have friends and have a lean on their experience. Don't try to be a one-man band. Now you see it's still raining. It's rained all day. And on a rainy day, the garden looks exceptionally nice. Wow, I can't believe it. Wow, Karen really outdid herself this year. Wow. And because we like to share other parts of our life, not only the motorcycles, our grandson for one, the things that Karen puts a lot of love and attention into. Her garden, by the way, this part of the garden's already blooming up already. Holy mackerel. I think of when I'm painting all winter. I used to paint on a table there. Well, we are going to be painting there in about 3 months, but thinking back to the garden, it just couldn't be a better summer. This is the luckiest man on earth for a lot of reasons, but the Ducatis are trying to kill him, but he won't let them.
It's the second time to try to kill
Second, then there's still more time. Now you got the yellow Ducati. You got
the 748.
Okay, then
yeah, it's in Colorado. The bike is in Colorado now.
Okay, and it runs good.
Oh,
That's Joe Roselli's old bike.
Yeah, it took a while for the fuel air ratio to correct itself by a computer, but yeah, it's all good now.
Yeah, you're up high, right?
Yeah.
My son is in there.
8,400 feet.
Yeah, okay, it's got to correct. I always put some of this on a video anyway. People like to see it they like model railroads. Luciano's model railroad. Always a lot of fun. Hey, we had a great visit. Look at Luciano's new car. He's walking around. We're laughing. And he's going to go buy protective gear. He promises. You're going to buy protective gear? No more jeans, no more sneakers. Anyway, thank God we still have him around. He's the luckiest guy in the world. So what's going to happen? Basically in next week or so, we're going to use up the rainy days that are available, get some sketches going, get some ideas on how we want to do this paint job. But up on our wall here, some of our bikes that we've done in the past, we're going to be getting some more input from people. That's of course for sure coming. We have a really elite set of friends, and among them Vince is probably one of the best artists, and we have done a very eclectic group of renovations and making bikes that were never made, I guess is the right word. And we've never lost a bike show. Every single one, everyone has won. Our record is no losses. Now, just for the reference, this is the bike that Ray has. The only picture I have of it with my macaw sitting on a seat from the 70s. And that's the look we're looking for. All black, a very small amount of gold. And just for reference, this was the original 1000cc. We made 2 of these, and Frank Straub, the late Frank Straub, had one, and one of the icons of my life. Taught me so much, and thank God he did, because I wasn't that smart to begin with, and I didn't get any smarter as time went by. And anytime I look at this wall, I always try to think of how lucky I am to have the friends I have, and it just couldn't be any better. And it's only going to get better, because the winter is coming. 3 months from now, we'll be painting away. But the bottom line is it all starts with a concept sketch. And we'll be doing that in the very near future. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the whole adventure that we go through every winter. It'll be starting in about 3 months. So again, thanks for watching.